guys, today I'm going to be taking a look back and reviewing the products I picked up during the Sephora Spring VIB sale of last year. I got so many things here. I can't believe I've had them all in my collection for a year. We still have a couple months before the VIB sale rolls around again, but I already have a decent wish list going. And in my haul, I showed you the products by brand, so we're gonna do that again today. I'm starting with Kosas. I picked up 3 complexion products from them. The first 2 being the Revealer Foundation and Concealer. Both of these are in my year-long project pan. I will have that linked up in the cards. These are not the oldest foundation and concealers in my collection, but these do have a expiration date of July, and I also know that the Kosas products tend to go bad faster, so I really want to finish these before they expire. So I have been working on these pretty diligently for a few months now, using both of them mostly every day. So for the Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, I'm in the color Very Light Neutral 100. This does work really nicely for me. I've heard that the range is pretty yellow tone. Because I'm yellow, I don't mind that, but it would be nice for them to have better undertone options to make this work for more people. But this is a nice formula. I would say that this has medium coverage. I don't find it to be super buildable. I usually have a little redness still showing through my cheeks, but I don't mind. Once I have all the rest of my face makeup on, you can't see it. And this surprisingly wears very nicely on my oily skin. Again, I've been wearing this all day long for work, and it is holding up nicely. I've mentioned before, I notice it with basically all of Kosas products, but definitely these liquid complexion products. They smell like hair bleach mixed with some artificial fake flowers. It's not my favorite scent. I've definitely gotten used to it. I notice it when I'm applying it, but as the day is going on, or even by the end of my makeup application, I don't notice it anymore. This is something that I would potentially purchase again in the future, but I would really want to have very few foundations if I'm going to be having that one. And then we have the Revealer Concealer. I have the color 0.5N. This is a really nice shade match for me. It is light enough to brighten. I would say this is a nice medium coverage concealer. This does have more of a natural finish, but it doesn't crease too badly under my eyes. Definitely doesn't look dry. I really like the consistency and the color of this one. I have heard from people that the cap can crack pretty easily, so I am very gentle about when I am closing the product up. This has the same smell as the foundation, which is a little bit annoying, but again, not too bad at the end of the day. I recently took the stopper out of this, so it's super messy. You probably won't be able to tell. It has like a flat paddle applicator, which is nice because I feel like it helps to apply more product. It has a flexible tip, but not super flexible. Really like this. Again, I would consider buying this in the future, but I would want to have just a few concealers in my collection. Also, the Kosas foundation has a pump, so those are nice products. Basically, the only negative is the smell and how quickly they turn. And then we have the Cloud Set Powder in Airy. I really should not have purchased this at that time because I haven't used it at all. I've been really focusing on other powders, and I'm going to be focusing on other powders again this year. I do want to try to find some ways to incorporate it. This is the lightest shade Airy. I previously had a deluxe size sample of, I think, the second color Breezy, and I loved it. I was using it almost like a powder foundation over a glowy primer, and the combo was fantastic. So I want to use this as well, obviously, but Kosas powder products do smell too. It just almost smells like kids makeup or something. It's very odd. And I recently talked about some Kosas lip glosses, and I think the formula is amazing, but the scent is awful. And I have not noticed that other clean beauty brands have the same smell issue as Kosas. I'm sure some do, but basically all of Kosas products smell, and I really don't like that, which sucks. I think their formulas are very good, so I wish that they could figure something out for that. Oh, but for the Kosas powder though, I know from when I used up the mini, I did not have any issues with this hard panning, but I think that it is because I went in with a dense powder brush to apply it. I wasn't, you know, just tapping on lightly. When people were doing that, I think they were taking like the moisture from their dewy foundation, putting it back into the powder, and that is why they were getting hard pan. So I really had no issues when I used my mini because of the way I apply my makeup. But this is nice to make your skin feel set, not completely dry to the touch, but mostly set, and you're not going to look dry or cakey. So I do think that this would be a good powder for people that have dry skin, but just keep in mind if you are going back and forth and you have a very like dewy moisturizing foundation, it's probably gonna make this hard pan. Next I have two products from Caliray. I feel like this brand is a little bit too expensive in general. I am really interested in their products. They recently came out with a setting spray that I definitely want to try, but their prices are just a little high. If they could knock off $4 from every product, I feel like that would be so much more, it would fit better, I'd say. And Caliray is a brand that was created by Wendy from Urban Decay, and it gives you very Surfer Girl PacSun vibes, which I think is very cute, but because it is so cutesy, I feel like they should drop down the price by just a few bucks. But for the products themselves, we have the Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. I have the lightest color, the 2, and this is not super pale. I am able to make it work because it's a skin tint, but they definitely should expand this shade range. It's a super liquidy product, but I do like it. I actually think it looks really pretty on the skin. I do get oily with this one. It doesn't wear perfectly all day long on me, but that is okay. I think that this looks very natural on the skin. It doesn't look like you're wearing a ton of base makeup, but it just makes your skin look more perfected. I really ended up enjoying this one. I don't right now think I would repurchase once I use it up. I think that the L'Oreal True Match Nude Serum Foundation Skin Tint is the one that I would probably repurchase, but this is very good. Happy to have it. Definitely want to make sure that I use that up. And then I have one of the Glazed and Infused Plumping Glassy Lip Trips in Taco Tuesday, which is just the more neutral color. So it is a squeeze tube gloss, which I really don't prefer, but it is a smaller tip, so I feel like it's not quite as messy. This has a light opacity to it. It does have a really nice glossy finish. You do have like a little bit of a cooling effect, but it's not going to be burny or super tingling. I barely noticed the plumping effect. This is a nice product. I actually picked up 2 more shades because they went on sale half off during the Sephora's Lipstick Day sale, but I'm excited to have tried it. I actually wish I just had this shade. This is my favorite shade out of the 3 that I have, and it's a fine formula, but I have other glosses that I prefer, so I would say pass on it. Speaking of gloss, I then purchased the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jelly in Pistachio. Now this is my favorite gloss formula. They're super smooth. They're not sticky at all, which means they're not long wearing. You have to reapply them often. I don't mind that though. And these are very affordable. I have heard from people that these do go off. I haven't noticed it, and I've had one of mine for a few years now, so something to keep in mind. But I really love this color. I think it's super pretty. I would love for them to continue adding more shades to this range because I think it's so good, and this is a great everyday pink shade. Next I got 4 things from Natasha Denona. The first one being the mini Biba palette. This was in my yearly favorites. I absolutely love this. You have 1 shimmer, 3 mattes, and then one of those creamy mattes. I hate that formula, so I really wish they replaced this with either this color in a matte shade or another shimmer. I really don't like that there's only 1 shimmer in this palette because I feel like that means I can only get 1 look. However, I love the 3 center shades enough that I'm okay spending this much money for 1 look basically. This is such a gorgeous metallic shade. I really love the formula of the shimmer. So basically I will do transition, crease, outer corner, and lower lash line, but I really think that they could have kept just 1 of the browns and then replaced the other with a different shimmer shade. Next we have the Natasha Denona Rose Glow Cheek. Do you have a cream blush, which is more of a cream to powder, and then a powder highlight. I don't know if you can see, but it looks like there's like a little bit of moisture in the cream blush, so that's a little annoying. I think this is very pretty. The formulas are nice. The highlight is a little deep for me, but I can make it work. The blush is pretty. This is something that was definitely an impulse buy, and while I wouldn't say I regret it because it was pretty affordable, I definitely did not need this. So if I could have gone back in time, I probably would not have purchased this. Then Natasha released a I Need a Rose lip collection. They had liner, lipstick, and gloss in 3 different shades. I picked the liner and gloss from the medium shade Daphne. I love this color. It is so pretty, like a slightly browny rose pink. The lip liner is so nice. I really like this formula. It's very creamy. It's a little less slippy than the ColourPop, but very similar. I'm not gonna buy any more, but I am happy to have this one. It's a beautiful shade and a nice formula. I just feel like I like the ColourPop lip liners well enough that I don't need to spend the extra money on the Natasha Denona. But then for her lip gloss, this is a great formula. So I love the packaging. I think it's really simple and cute. You do have that flat paddle, so you're able to apply more product. This has more of a medium opacity, which is definitely my preference. I don't like a full coverage gloss, but I want there to be some color there. This is so beautiful. This is very comfortable on the lips. Maybe not quite as thin as the Tower 28, but it still does not feel thick, definitely not sticky, super smooth. This is very pretty. I did later end up getting one of the other shades from this collection, and I will keep an eye on them. However, I do think that I should try to make myself just get Tower 28 over Natasha Denona because formulas are similar enough and this is very expensive. But if you're wanting to try it, I do think that this was a fantastic gloss. Next, I had gotten one of the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serums, and this is in the shade Bronze Glow. I feel like this was a great first color for me to pick. I enjoy these because I now have 6. I have 3 of the original shades that have a little bit of shimmer, and then 3 of the new additions that are the cream finish. And this is so nice. It definitely gives you Revlon lip butter feels, except these can be a little bit more messy. They are more creamy. This is not something to put in your car, to put in your pocket. I would recommend when you're applying these, maybe carefully on one lip you can do a swipe, but then it's probably going to be pretty creamy to the touch and you're going to want to just like pat on, and you're still going to get plenty of color and shine and product, but it's not going to be as messy. It looks oily on the side. This is something where you can twist it up, but you cannot twist it back down, so just be careful you don't just crank and crank and crank. This is a little bit of a finicky formula. I don't know if a different package would have been better, but I'm really not sure. I feel like this is good though. This is fine. I really like these. I have tried the original Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. I didn't like them because I found them to be really creamy and thick, and that just felt gloopy on my lips. These don't feel thick. I really like these. I think that I'm fine with the 6 shades I have. I don't need to buy any more. But just be careful about the mushiness, the creaminess, but I do like the way that it looks. It does have that mentholy scent to it, so keep that in mind if you don't like that, but I'm really happy I picked that one up. Next, from Rare Beauty, I got 4 things, one of them being a 100-point perk of the Perfect Strokes Universal Volumizing Mascara. I have used it up, and then I did get another one. I love it. That is one of the best mascaras that I've tried. It does have a natural bristle brush, and I think it does a great job of giving some volume and some thickness without being super messy. I absolutely love that. If that goes on sale during the mascara day at Sephora, 40 or 50% off, I will definitely pick it up. I wouldn't buy it for just 20% off because it's still a high-end mascara, still pricey. Even though I think Rare Beauty actually has pretty reasonable prices for a high-end brand, but that mascara is wonderful. Then I also got the Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer, and mine is in the color 14W. This is a really good shade match for me. I really like this as well. I honestly feel like this one and the Caliray are essentially the same formula, so go with whichever you prefer. I think that this one is cheaper, has more shades, so yeah, Rare Beauty is probably the way to go. I think this is a nice product. I enjoy it. It was great product for the trend. Probably would not repurchase though, because I am more of a medium to full coverage foundation person. If I'm going with something more lightweight, I'll just go with the L'Oreal, but this is still very nice. Happy to have that. And then I got 2 of the bronzer sticks because these were going super in and out of stock at the time, and I purchased these shades at different times and I regret buying these. I now have a lot more cream bronzers. I have other shades that work better for me. This is a great formula. It is like a silicone-y primer, sort of like cream to powder finish, which I like that, but the colors are off for me. So this one is Happy Soul. It's the second lightest shade, and this one has a red undertone. And then we have the lightest color, Power Boost, which ends up looking green on my skin. I end up mostly wearing these together, and I haven't used them a ton since I bought them and reviewed them because I have other cream bronzers where the shades just work perfectly for me. So I do think this is a nice formula. If you find a shade and undertone that is going to work for you, I do think it's worth picking up. But I do feel like a dummy that I kept trying so hard to make these work because they were so popular, and now I have 2 shades and neither of them work perfectly for me. Next, I had gotten 2 things from Patrick Ta. The first one is his Precision Gel Liner. I saw Nicolette P on Instagram demo this in one of his other new shades. This is Copper Gold. I literally just finished this up a few days ago, and I did not use it all year long. Like, I used it on and off, but this formula is so creamy. Every single time you use it, you will notice that you used up some product. So that can feel like an accomplishment. I did get my money's worth because I used every little bit. None of it broke off, which is great. But I also don't feel like it was worth the money because it went so quickly. Pretty shade. Nothing super special about this formula though. I do regret buying this one because it was still so pricey. Not something that I would repurchase or recommend. It was a good formula, it just went too quickly. And then I got the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2 Rose palette, and I like this. I don't love it. I feel like these shades here did not apply the easiest with a brush. I try to do one layer with a brush and then another layer with my fingers to help build up the intensity, but I feel like these are just like a little bit chunky. I need to use this again because when I see other people use it, I'm obsessed with their look, but on me, I thought it was pretty, but I really didn't reach for this a ton after I reviewed it. I'm also not obsessed with the cream shadows because they're matte, and I would probably like them more if they were shimmers. So this is a good palette. I don't regret buying this, but it's not a must-have in my collection. I forgot to talk about the mattes. They are powdery, but I don't really mind that. I do find that they are pigmented and blend nicely and don't really apply in a patchy way. Then I got the Melt Cosmetics Gemini 2 palette. It's my first time trying Melt shadows, and I really enjoyed it. So I do have a couple complaints. I wish there were more shimmers. You only have the 2 of these and they're pretty deep. I think they could have replaced one of these colors here with a lighter shimmer. I ended up using Makeup Geek in the Spotlight. I can't remember. I ended up using the Makeup Geek shade on my lid with these mattes, and I absolutely loved it. I love the formula. I love these 3 colors right here especially. I think they're so beautiful. I enjoyed the look I did with the deep shades. Just for me, the colors are a little bit dark for my preference, but I am so happy to have this palette. I think it's super beautiful. I love the looks, performed well. I still am not going to, be the first one in line to pick up a Melt palette because I feel like they have been so inconsistent from what I heard, but I do think this is a good one. Then I have 2 more products. First was the Artist Couture Supreme Mauves palette. I ended up returning this unused. I think the colors are so beautiful, but I heard the worst things about this palette. I heard that all of the shimmers were so dry and hard pressed. The mattes were okay, but I have plenty of mattes in my collection, and I'm glad that I passed on this one. I don't know what's wrong with Artist Couture and why they have so many issues with their shadows. I feel like the Supreme Nudes and Supreme Bronze people like, but the other palettes have not been that great. And then I also got a single shadow from Sephora, their Colorful Metal Effects eyeshadow in number 5 Meteor. And I think, again, Nicolette P on Instagram wear it and it looked beautiful on her. It just looked like a regular copper to me. Same about the formula, did not apply well with a brush, just with my finger. And I ended up decluttering it because I have tons of copper shadows in my collection. I would say pass on that one. So overall, I am really happy with the things that I picked up. If I could go back in time and not buy anything, the Sephora Shadow, Patrick Ta Gel Liner, Rare Beauty Bronzer Sticks because of the shade, and then I really just did not need this Natasha Denona Rose Cheek Duo. And I really didn't need this Caliray lip gloss, and I'm not kicking myself for buying it, but everything else I am really happy with, so that's pretty good. I am happy that I enjoyed a lot of these products. Some of them have become favorites. Several were in my year-long favorites from 2022. And I am really looking forward to the sale this time. I'm going to try to not go as crazy, but like I said, I do have a decent size wish list already. But I would love to hear your thoughts if you've tried these products. I would love to know if you already have a wish list going for this spring sale, and if you do, what's on it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.